Hello, I'm Mystic Orange and this is video hashtag 661. In this video, I'll be reviewing Winx Club Season 4 Episode 8. It's the episode where, the Winx girls try to find the white circle. I wasn't going to do this episode because I didn't really have anything to say about it. However, I did put a poll out in the community section asking you guys if I want to do this. But a lot of you said yes, so I gotta give you what you want. So, yeah, for this video, I'm reviewing this episode. I'm reviewing the Nickelodeon version of this episode. Anyway, let's get into this. Anyway, before we head on to the review, we have an intermission. And for this intermission, I've been thinking about this. If you were active in my channel, you probably know that I recently, reached 600 subscribers, and I did a couple of Q&A questions in that video. So what I'm gonna do for this intermission, I'm going to answer some bonus questions that Twins Inc. got. Because I think it's fun to do, and I'll just do that one question. The question is, have you ever played You May Nikki? I personally don't know what that is, so I'm sorry I can't answer that for you. I think in the future intermissions, I'm going to answer similar questions, or maybe I'm gonna ask some questions to you guys about some topics. Maybe that will be fun. So anyway, have you ever guys played You May Nikki? Do you know what that is? Because I don't. Anyway, the episode starts off with time wasters. It's just, the girls spending time at the pet shop. Honestly, any time they spend at the pet shop is always a time waster for me. They add nothing funny in the pet shop gimmicks. So we just have, Kiko, wearing Stella's outfits, and it just fumbles a bit. But it's not funny. It's just a time waster. And I get it. I think season 4 is trying to have moments where the girls trying to relax a bit. They're trying to have some downtime, some light-hearted stuff. It comes to the point where these gags are repetitive. I want some new things, season 2, for example. Season 2 had a lot of downtime, but they had a bunch of things. Although it does remind me in some moments in season 2 where Fox's dub did cut out because they were time wasters. I'm thinking of that episode again from season 2 episode 7 where Livy did this whole play thing throughout the whole episode. So I'm glad Focus cut that things like that out. When you watch anything from the Focus dub of season 2, it doesn't feel like a time waster. You're watching good entertainment. Along with that good characterization with the characters. However, in season 4, with these gags with the pets and them doing these fashion shows, you get none of that. If the Focus dub did this, they would cut off most of these gags with the pets, or they could have done so much better with them, add some personality, which this season really needs. Anyway, with the pet catwalk, we have Chico and Tiger. I always keep forgetting who pairs up with Chico. I always keep thinking it's Ginger, but it's just random tiger cat. You'd think it would be someone like Millie the bunny or Ginger the poodle. You would not have thought it's Techna's duck. You think duck Chico would rather be playing video games than do these fashion challenges? I mean, I don't know why I care. I swear the Winx girls just say the same things and do the same things in the pet shop in every episode. Okay, so we deal with drama with Stella not going to the Fushi Music Bar because, she doesn't want to see Brandon. But then Bloom gives, Stella some advice. I wonder if Bloom is the right person to give this advice. I don't think she has the position to do so because Bloom herself is also annoying as well with her relationship with Sky. I do like that Stella comes up with a creative solution about Roxy's dilemma in this scene. So what happened is like Roxy's pictures are put in like weird sequence, and Stella kind of figured that out. This brings back to like season 2, where like Stella would come up with a creative solution about going to the Shadow Hunt. Like she would do this puzzle with Layla. I do like Stella showing her smart side once and now and then. Anyway, in the next scene, the Winx head towards this barn thing to, catch this white circle. And they try to, get in this, like, RV. This is something that Timmy had along with him. And Stella has chosen some outfits for the girls, which look really cute. I mean, in this image, Bloom and Layla look really cute in their cowgirl outfit. I mean, Bloom needs to wear yellow more often. It suits her really well. And I like that Layla gets to wear this jacket over her shirt. I love Musa's outfit with her braided like pigtails and her pink top with the matching pink armbands and nice blue jeans with her blue neck scarf. Really nice details on Musa. And I think Stella's one is probably my favorite. I like the combination of pink and orange top, and her blue scarf and a blue skirt. It gives me like a sunset vibe. Roxy looks the cutest with her mint green top, and I also really like her addition with her hat. I do like Techna's outfit with her purple top. It's nice too. I don't care much about Flora's outfit though. I don't think it's all that, impressive compared to the others. And yes, Stella's the one that's driving the RV. However, she can't drive for shit. They should have let someone like, Layla or Techna to drive. Because we know, Layla's the type of person would, drive these things. Because, she has ridden, like, a motorbike before. Like in previous seasons where, she was riding a hoverbike. That's kind of her thing. But also, Tedna could have also, drove this, car because she has worked the specialist ship before. I'm pretty sure she did that in the movie. So either of them could have, drove them across the road. But of course, they eventually let Layla drive. And also, I'm watching this Nickelodeon version of this dub. The transition of them shouting that let Layla drive in Nickelodeon is not smooth. I'm gonna be honest, that was not smooth of them like shouting that. Ooh. It was not smooth in the original version either, because how them shouting out "Let Layla drive," it was kind of awkward. But I know it's worse in the Nickelodeon version. Like, don't let your characters talk at once if they can't do it. Okay, I did like Bloom's line here. I thought it was really funny how she mentioned the important about getting our destination is being alive. I like them riding the horses now. It's giving me Horseland vibes. This episode makes me think how they could have earned believe it individually, and this episode could have been like Flora's episode. Like, can you imagine Flora like convincing this old man, to think about the environment and his farm? Honestly, they should have let the Winx earn the believe individually, just like how they did for Charmix and Enchantix. I love how the Winx are trying to explain to us like they don't want to force the owner to do something that he doesn't want to do, but they are telling us that they want to put a spell on him to mind warp him to do something he doesn't want to do. I mean, what happened to like simple persuasion? Oh great, they remember that fairy dust exists and they can miniaturize in the Believix form. Yeah, I bet like in the future seasons they forget all of these like abilities they can do. Like, could you imagine now in season 8 and they forget things like miniaturization, but also they forget things from Believix as well, like things like the different wings. The fact that they had the 3 sets of wings, and they forget that as well. Or they forget that they also have harmonics to to swim in underwater. It happens a lot in the future seasons, and like they forget the details they have for other future like the past transformations. So I can bet you now, like them doing miniaturization here, they could have done anything else. Also, I want to point something out. The fact that they have Speedix in one of their like transformations makes Anakin really useless because he's the speedy one. Anakin alone like is pretty useless as a villain. Like all he does is just run around, and that's not very interesting or like effective. Also, woohoo to Roxy for going Super Saiyan with her white circle. The entire animal start going commanding on her. Okay, this is the first time we get to see the Winx's special spells, and Bloom is the first person to use hers, called Strength of Life. So with this spell, she can heal people. I think this spell is talked about in the fandom because with this spell she can heal like people who are like unconscious. Like for example, she can heal this man, but she can also heal people like her father, like who almost died. Like if you don't know anything about this show, and like at the end of this season, we know what happens to one of our characters, Nabu, who like dies. But of course he shouldn't die like immediately. Like if Bloom could have saved Nabu. Also, Bloom shouldn't be the only one blamed for this. I think they all should be blamed for this because um, surely they should have healing powers at this point because of like enchantix and fairy dust. And apparently, fairy dust is carried over to Believix because you can't say that it isn't because they just use miniaturization in this episode. So of course, they should have healing powers. And yes, the fairy dust powers does have healing powers. Like we can't forget the time in like season 3 where like Misa used her fairy dust to heal Bloom when she got injured in the Omega dimension. So yes, you can't. I am gonna be strict with everyone here. They all should have saved Naboo. And then Flora uses her special spell, which is Breath of the World. With this, she brings back the forest. She brings back the nature. And with that, this man changes his ways. I'm telling you, this should have been Flora's episode. Like, if anyone had to earn the Believix individually, this is how Flora could have earned hers. Honestly, I could have, rewritten season 4 and, like, rewritten how Believix works. This could have been great. I swear to God, nothing happens in this episode that it is worth commenting on. Next time, I'm picking the episode this time, and I'm not gonna let anyone sway me. However, this bit is worth commenting on. I'm not even gonna address Stella's stupidity in this scene, but I'm gonna address this bit. So Mitzi and Stella have this singing competition between each other. Mind you, I'm watching the Nickelodeon version, but they have kept the singing from like the Ray version. So it is kind of strange though, like in the Nickelodeon version, they kind of kept the singing the same. Which is fair because I don't think the Stella's voice actress from Nickelodeon dub can sing. But sorry, newsflash, neither can the Ray version. But I'm sorry, Stella sucked in the singing vocals. I'm not gonna lie either. Missy slayed in the singing competition. I'm not even picking sides of like who are like better, Stella or Missy. Missy is just by far better singer than Stella. And they're kind of lucky not having the Nickelodeon Mitzi singing because do you know who voices Nickelodeon Mitzi? It's Trina Vega from Victorious, and obviously she can sing. So it's a good try of not having her sing in competition with Nickelodeon Stella. But you know, this kind of was a big L for Stella. Also, while we're having this drama between Stella and Brandon, like throughout this like few episodes, I'm just dreading the episodes where the drama between Misa and Riven starts to begin. I'm just tired at this point. I'm just dreading the future. I'm also dreading this future too. I'm just gonna tell you guys, Rainbow, you did my body dirty. Like, how can you give us the healthiest relationship between Layla and Nabu and you just take that away from us? Anyway, I'm kind of done with this episode. There's really nothing for me to add here. I just realized this episode has way too many filler, and not in a good way either. Okay, it's time to summarize my opinion about this episode. Share my favorite things and my least favorite things about this episode. Honestly, it was really hard to find any favorites about this episode. I guess my favorite thing about this episode is like Roxy killing her scene with getting that white circle, and she just commands the whole animals to get to her. I thought that was cool. However, my least favorite thing about this episode is the amount of filler in this episode. And there was nothing to add here or to discuss. There was filler in the beginning and there was filler in the end. Even in season 2, when they had filler, like it really meant something, it was really fun. None of these fillers in this episode was any fun. Like it had nothing to the characters. It was so dead, man. Anyway, this is my review. I'm sick of this episode. Anyway, next time I'm choosing an episode to review. Anyway, like, share, and subscribe, and have a lovely day.